ate bwe kifuluma kiriko security that security good bar bweki oli yenna bw'agezaako kukifoginga omanya nti kino kyosi kyatunasa kubanga kyaka ate at the same time oli bw'aba alina ekintu kyonna kyayagala okukola ku kyapa ekyo kikwalaatinga ate nga ne wobeera wonna kyetuyita poto wobeera wonna oyinza okunyiga mu ssimu yo n'okyekinga ekyapa kyokaki kakati toyinza kubba kyapa kakati byali bikolebwa luli nga biri mu manyo naye kakati manyo nga bwevuddewo tukyasigazisayo butonebutano bakuyingira mu system naye kakati byonna tusuubira nti no by August oba September byonna bijja kuba nga biri digitalized awo ebyokubba ekyapa oba okuba ebyapa bibiri okuba ku ttaka lyerimu ekyo kiba tekikyasooka nakamu.
Minisita, ate abantu abakyalina emisango leeteyo bakyalina emisango abalina okwemulugunya
kyekyapa bemugunya ekyapa kyo kyekiri omanyi ekyapa kino kyetukwata mu ngalo si ye origino batuyita duplicate lwakuba nti fe bulijjo tugatibuliri ekyapa kyo ki white page kyeba kisigalayo era bino migration byonna tugiyingiza kati mu system kakati ali wangula omusango kakati bayingiza buyingiza kuli ku system okukyusa kubanga biodata zo zonna ziba ziyingira kati transfers n'endala ziba zijja kuba nga zikyakolebwa naye nga kati eyingirizibwa buli yennyini nanyintaka yaba sayinize IDs na biki ate bwe kiyingira eri mu ssimu yo newonawo gye bibiri byonna byalaatinga nti byonna biyingidde nga bw'ossa sente ku akawunti nekikwalaatinga ti sente kati nakino bwekiri kakati
ate ebyo ebiriko caveat already munakubika
ne caveat zonna kweziri byavudde ku manyo nebigenda byonna ku digito n'ebintu byabyo.
No, really, land is my cup of tea. I can answer very exhaustively almost every question and spend the whole day here. I really enjoy this land issue. And Professor, I always like whenever you raise issues, and I really, and everybody has noticed, he has taken his roles as the senior presidential advisor on manifesto very, very seriously. I always see him. His comments are always, how far have you gone? This is a social contract with the people of Uganda. Now you have just said, you see, we have gone 2 years. That's about 40%. We have to fulfill this one day. Professor, I also take it very seriously. And I believe your team, and I want to thank you very much for the really seriousness which you and other colleagues and all of us together, we are putting through these things. Now I'll respond to a few things, and my technical person may add in. The issue of land titles, overlapping titles, 2, 3 titles on the same piece of land. This is a very serious issue which the manifesto set out to solve. I must state very clearly that, however, this is not the first time, it's a historical thing. Otherwise, it would not have existed in the Registration of Titles Act. I think it is section 58, which gives that when the other titles, the first in time will prevail. So any other title which comes after it is invalid. So it was foreseen. I think RTA came into existence around 1920s there. So it is not a new thing. But it had escalated to far beyond what was expected to be a normal error or a normal aberration. So much that it was necessary to put it in the manifesto. Now, what happens and what used to happen before the land information system was put in by the government, particularly by His Excellency, because he was the one who personally approved the funds from the World Bank, which has put up the system. It was a manual system. So one would pull out that file, and that file gets lost. So once, because it is a theft organized, so the person behind the whole thing would go and declare that the title is lost and cannot be found. So a special title is found. Now is made. Now when a special title is made, remember it is all a fraud, the other title still remains. Somebody is staying in his house, believing his land is safe, but somebody is making another title. So when the special title is done, a file is put in place, back in place, somebody has a title already in his house, an old person somewhere thinks he has his land safe, but another title is in place. Now, this title could be maybe a leasehold. Somebody then if it was mile, gets a leasehold title out of it. So now you have another second title. Then that one gets lost and all these titles. Now, this has been solved with the installation now of the new land information system. With the land information system in place, it is impossible to have these 1, 2, 3 titles on the same piece of land. What happens with the system is that everything is digitalized. And what is put in the system, once in that system, the title is in such a way that you have, first of all, your ID particulars on it, in the system, and all your biodata. And when the title is issued out, that title has the security feature, just like a note, so that when you want to, a currency note, just like a currency note, so you can get, if somebody else is going to try and fidget with it, when it is tested, it will spark with that flash. So it's not possible. Again, that security, that title now, which comes out with a new system, has a special peculiar number. No other title has that number. That feature was not there on the other titles. On the other title, there was only the instrument number. Now there's a feature number. Also, that title has your national ID number. And you know your number is unique to you. And the other, it is there on that title. And also, that title has a seal. That seal is so strong to go through, it's not like the other seals which were a bit clumsy. And at the back of it, there's also a mini title, which shows all the other at the end of the title. So that title is very, very, very secured. And when another person is trying to transact on it, the system will reject. It is digitalized, put in, somebody is trying to put a caveat. The portal, which has come out, has been tested in Kampala, is working. We are working to get it all over the country. So the moment one is trying to transact on your land, it flashes, it warns you on your mobile number. Your mobile number is also featured there, here in the title. So that you can be in New York, if the portal is working, gets working completely, and you check and you see what's on your title. If somebody is trying to put a caveat or to somehow in any way fit your title, an alarm will come on your phone. And you check, something's happening on my title. So the issue of double titling has been solved by the Land Information System, which is the one of its kind in Africa. And we must thank His Excellency because he personally approved this. There's a special person in the World Bank who monitors it. Any other week at the Land Information System headquarters in Useful Railroad, there's a delegation from other African countries coming to see our system. And also, this covers the water, the wetlands, the forests, the national parks. Now it is impossible to get a title in the wetlands because the moment somebody is trying to get it, the system will reject the title. Or there's still a backlog. Some titles are still on manual, but we have a deadline. We believe that by the end of, I think it was given about October, all the titles will have, there will be no backlog, will be on the system. And now we shall just go on to the portal to make sure that everybody, whoever has that number, that mobile number on that title, whenever anything happens, anywhere you are, the URA has been what, so you can just pay the necessary search fee and you access your title. That has been solved. And are people acquiring titles and living in harmony? That's what in the Bible is, that I think it is in Isaiah, where they show that picture of that wonderful place in heaven, where the lion and the sheep live together in harmony. That's what will happen, because now the Kibanja owner has been fighting with the mine owner, eviction. Now with everybody with the title, everybody will live in harmony. Everybody has his title. The delay has been in, of course, the funding. Once the funds are availed in the land information, in the land fund, number one, everybody on the public land in Uganda, by law existing as I speak now, can apply for a title on his Kibanja or customer holding and get it without paying a premium. So everybody in Uganda on public land can get a title. I think some people have not been sensitized enough, but we have tried to do it. But the law is clear. Anybody in Uganda on public land can get a title by applying to the district land board and does not have to pay a premium. And then it's processed. So everybody in public land potentially is free. Then those who do not have title are protected under Article 237, subsection 8. They are protected. They have security of occupancy. And as lawyers know, occupancy is 70% ownership. So a Kibanja holder who has no title yet is fully protected by law. And for that, with the two presidential directives, the one which was issued, the first one was 22nd August 2013, that's about 20 years ago, and another one 28th February, protecting those on the land who have not yet got titles. But soon, Professor, the lion and the sheep will live together in harmony. The district land boards. You know, I think you read about my battles with the district land boards. I was surprised when, for example, I issued a deadline to district land boards that those who have not filed last year's report by 35 should not proceed in the next year. A whole district chairperson, I think of Wakiso, went up and said, we are not going to observe this. A whole member of parliament stood on the floor of parliament and opposed it. Said the man, I think there was even a colleague, a cabinet colleague, who said, no, don't observe this. But how would you give accountability to the, you know, the district land boards were given a lot of powers by the Constitution. In the exercise of their duties, they are answerable to no man or authority. But they have got to follow the policies of the district and national land policy. So, in pursuit of that, knowing that they are not answerable to nobody, Section 60 of the Land Act states that in their performance of their duties, they have to file an annual report, which is discussed by the district land board, the executive committee, and they take into account the observation of the district team in the new year. And then the Minister of Lands uses that report to monitor and to advise whether they are following the land policy. Now, if you don't file that report, you cannot proceed on the next year. But our LC5, who is supposed to receive the report, is saying it doesn't matter. Chairman of Kampala and board said, I even took with because I happen to have found annual report which was done by the then District Land Board of Kampala. I think that was 2013. And I had a press conference and I said, this is what I'm talking about. But I'm happy to report that although my action had been negatively received, they are now complying. Enough of them are compliant. We have no teeth. We cannot dismiss them, although we appoint them. Maybe we are thinking of taking to cabinet proposals on how we can monitor and at least bite teeth. But for me, I thought that because I think section 59 or 58 of the Land Act gives power to the district land executive committee to discipline any land board member who is incompetent. So I thought if I issue this notice to say, you people, you have not filed the annual report, therefore there is no report for the district executive committee to consider, and therefore no report for the Ministry of Land to monitor your performance and advise. I thought that was enough, and I settled in my letter that this is enough for you executive committee to take action because this is indiscipline and this is non-performance. But they didn't take. But now they are doing so because we said we shall withdraw our services because they depend on our survey services, on our valuation services, and we're the one who issue the report. But we still have a lot to do. And I think we should have a program in place before they take office. We should make sure they go through some kind of training. I personally have written something which a small booklet, which I haven't yet published, of the frequently asked questions. And sometimes when I go to a district, I explain to them, and you see they don't know anything. When I was in Kasese, the chairman of the land board said, hey, but when we're making decisions in a district land board, everybody votes, the land officers, every member of the executive committee. But then what's the use of appointing you and giving you special powers when everybody else votes? He said, but, and when you look at the chairman, the fellow has not been schooled. He lacks all knowledge concerning land and land transactions. There are very many areas. The Land Act, for example, section 59, 1A, any piece of land which is occupied is not available for allocation. But they go and allocate. If it's occupied by an authority, it's not available. They go ahead and allocate. And then section 59, as amended, is very clear. It is void. But somebody goes around with that. But now with the land information system, since the wetlands are all factored in, and we are insisting that also should indicate whether that land is occupied or not, it will minimize, not completely eliminate, because you can't therefore dispense with this, giving some lesson to these boards, land boards. There's this corruption in lands. Who is 25, I think, has encountered with land office. Everybody who gets some money, you want to get some land. And you know the problem of corruption in lands is endemic. The whole country must fight it. And if I stand here and say it doesn't exist, you all know that I'm telling lies. I can tell you now, Professor, you know, one time I tried to close the Wakiso office, and then just on, that was Thursday, on Saturday I was taking some tea, and one of my best friends, a lawyer, had been sent by a clerk, not a clerk really, a filing clerk. Please let him allow me to stay, keep my job here. I'll give him 20 million this very weekend. She earns less than 500,000. How can she get to 20 million? So I think we still have work to do in the registries, in the surveys, survey department. How do you survey water and approach a title when the constitution there is very clear? Water, there's somebody with a title in Lake, here in Lake Vic in New Zealand. A title is in water. And then he first declares it a customary holding. How have you been customary living on water? Then he now applies to get a freehold title on water. And then you take that title to UNRWA to be compensated. And you get actually compensated. Why shouldn't those people be arrested? Certainly. As I said, it is very easy to catch these people, the corruption in lands, especially those issuing titles in wetlands, in parks, in forests, because you actually see who surveyed, who valued, the cartographer, the registrar who finally issued that title. You can actually follow it up. So I agree, sir, and Professor, I'm sure, agrees. We still have work to do. And we have a social contract, as he's always said, with the people of Uganda to make sure that we eliminate these malpractices. The physical planning, before we get to that, the delay in land cases in court. Of course, these are what the government has done, and the Chief Justice has been putting a lot of pressure to His Excellency, the President, give us more money so that we appoint more judges and more magistrates. Then the backlog cases will be quick handled. What they have done in other countries, they have got special courts for land matters. I was watching how Bamugamere Commission was conducting, because they handled some cases. A case is registered, handled immediately, given a date, and the case is handled and finished that very date. Because usually, the man is taking over my Mayanja, and then I go and file a case which will be heard next year. And then next year when it is called, maybe the lawyer on the other side is not there, maybe the magistrate say it is pushed over. Now you have some classic case of like one of Mutungu, of Dr. Kasasa, where it has been in court for 20 years. The matter has never been heard substantially. The substantive matter has never been heard for 20 years. If the man, it was filed when he was 60, now he's 80. If he was 80, now he's 100. The matter has not been heard. So I think there's a case for special courts for land matters. The land matter should be like a commercial court. A special division commercial court was put there, and with specific timelines to handle cases. It had been working properly. Let us have something special for land. Somebody files his case today, he knows that there's, by law, it cannot be more than 10 days before it is finally disposed of. And then appeal system is made within those special courts. I hope that, I really support that kind of measure, because we can, the ordinary court system is made for ordinary cases. It's a contract, you file, and then you can afford maybe to wait for some time. But somebody's entered my Chivanji, somebody is evicting me. The time is of essence. So I agree that I think it is some work. Professor, contract, you always remind us. It is a social contract. We have 3 years left, and we need to clean this up.
On the issue of the land fund, I know today we are issuing the titles in Kagadi to over 1,000 families under the land fund. So this is one of the commitments that we are striving as much as possible to make sure that landowners do acquire legal documentation, especially those where government has used the land fund to buy land from absentee landlords. On the issue of the district land boards, we are having and planning for a number of capacity building sessions for them. Soon we shall be in Lango to train and build the capacities of the district land management institutions in Elango. We shall start with Lira, Dokolo, and Amolata. On the issue of corruption, as a ministry, we have tried to ensure that we always have the land awareness weeks. We also have had the barazas, where our ministers actually attended to some of them to listen to the people, bring their complaints, and make sure that we address those complaints to logical conclusion. We also publish a list of the titles that have been published in the Uganda Gazette and put it on social media on a monthly basis, so that if anybody out there, especially those in the diaspora, who might not know that their titles have appeared, you know, it actually gives them alert, and we have actually stopped a number of specials in the name of the owners submitting them. Now, we also have land registry open days, and at these we invite the public to come. We tell them what we do, what each department does, and we even give them the fees that they are supposed to pay, the procedures, and all documentation. We hope and ask them that in case anything comes up where it's important, that they actually report issues of corruption. The ministry has come up with the materials for zero tolerance to corruption, and these have been distributed countrywide. There was the issue of recapitalizing the bank. This one, I am aware that under the Housing Directorate, there is an ongoing intervention to come up with a housing mortgage facility, and once it is done and completed, monies are going to be put into it, and it is these monies which are going to be used actually to be accessed in order to build houses for civil servants and other categories of persons. So that is also work in progress, but it is still at the planning stage. On budget cuts, it is true that these affect all of us, but if there are budget cuts, we usually look for solutions. And from a technical point of view, what we have decided to do is to work with partners. We look out for civil society organizations who we can partner with and have a shared responsibility. But ultimately, the issuance of the final documents is work of government. They help us and support us in the sensitization and mobilization, signing of forms, all those, translating documents into local language. Then we come in and we do this with them from the sub-counties. Sometimes they even help us and go up to villages. So it is something we have not decided to cry that because we don't have money we shall not implement. No. But we have looked for innovative ways to see how we can push forward the agenda and achieve the issues that are in the manifesto. On the issue of physical planning, government has just approved the National Physical Development Plan. This is the first ever in this country has had, and this plan has provided all what has to be done on the land, on the land in this country from now until 2040. It has looked at the issues of human settlements, the growth centers, the road network systems, land use for agriculture, and all these. What is remaining now, since it was approved by Cabinet, is to have it laid in Cabinet, in Parliament, and then we shall be rolling it out to the sensitization and show people what has to be done and how we have to comply with that plan. There was the issue of urban development, KCCA and Ministry of Water, and whether we engage with each other. Yes, indeed, we work in a coordinated manner. We actually are working with KCCA, Ministry of Water and Environment, and National Forest Authority to make sure that we do not only curb or stop the issues that were mentioned of drainage, but even these issues of road reserves, forest preserves, there are a lot of challenges there that we have to address. Issues of encroachment, cancelling of titles, these are many. Soon you will see something on, of course, the standard gauge levy is coming up, and it is actually known that in some areas where the standard gauge levy is going to pass, these areas are wetlands, and we know that in some of those areas there may be titles. So it is something that we still have to follow up and work up with them and see how we shall address this in a coordinated manner.